Sometime around the beginning of the year 2000, I walked into a PC store and walked out with a game I only bought because I was bored and it was cheap. And to say it took me by surprise is an understatement that doesn't do the game justice. Homeworld was a 3D real-time strategy game released in 1999 and remastered in 2015. And although the original version looks dated now, 20 years ago, it blew me away. I am not normally an RTS gamer. I can't multitask well enough to make a complex meal without setting something on fire, and my military strategy is more likely to earn me the nickname Blown Apart than it is Bonaparte. But this was a fully three-dimensional RTS game set in space. It made space look prettier than I had seen it look in any game up to that point. And I look at space the way most people look at chocolate-glazed donuts, so Homeworld was off to a really good start. But this was more than a virtual outer space enhancement engine, and it only took a few minutes of gameplay before I was hooked. Many elements of the story would be familiar to fans of Battlestar Galactica, but it was certainly dramatic and fairly straightforward. The Kushan people discover an ancient starship under the sands of the desert and find it contains a map to their distant ancestral homeworld, Higara. They spend the next few decades building a ship to take them there, but when their adoptive planet KnArc is destroyed, those who remain are left with no choice but to voyage across the stars to seek it out. The game follows that voyage and your attempts to build and maintain your fleet as you flee from the burning planet and those who destroyed it. What struck me the most about this game was not so much the story, but the high quality of pretty much every other aspect of it. From the 3D space battle gameplay to the gorgeous music and sound design and some outstanding voiceover work. Even the battle chatter seemed natural and realistic and was, weirdly, a pleasure to listen to. This game portrayed deep space travel and combat in a way that not only felt fresh and realistic for a video game, it seemed more believable than almost any portrayal of deep space travel on TV or in the movies up to that point. And I say that as a sci-fi nerd and a hardcore film fan. One of the things I remember the most clearly about my early experiences with Homeworld was how, for the first time ever, I occasionally found some of my little tiny ships getting completely lost as they travelled out away from the mothership to find and bring back resources. It was too much fun for me in those early levels to zoom close in to my resource collector ships and follow them until I turned around to find we had been swallowed by the almost incomprehensible vastness of space. Now, I've been a space geek since I was a kid, and as far as I know, I'm the only person I've ever met sad enough to have read through the entire transcript of everything that was said during the Apollo 8 mission in 1968, during the better part of a week they spent in space. I think about the numbers and the unimaginable distances involved in interstellar travel all the time, and even so, there was a moment during my first playthrough of Homeworld where I turned the camera around to find I had lost sight of the mothership and said, out loud, "Holy sh**, it is big out here." I can look back over my gaming career, from Jet Set Willy to Red Dead Redemption 2, and there have only been a handful of moments that really changed the playing field completely in my tiny little insignificant gamer brain. Homeworld was one of those moments. But so what? Why am I talking about this now? Well, there are several reasons, and I'm going to explain them because they relate directly to current games, upcoming games, and I hope, upcoming content on this channel. Homeworld was originally developed by Relic Entertainment and published by Sierra Studios in 1999. It was the first in a series of 4 Homeworld games to date, but it's a complicated family, so I'm going to talk mainly about Homeworld 1 and 2, released in 1999 and 2003 respectively. THQ later acquired the rights to the franchise when they bought Relic Entertainment in 2004, and then Gearbox bought the rights when THQ went bankrupt in 2013. Gearbox then released the Homeworld Remastered collection you're looking at now in 2015, and it was even more beautiful than ever before. In 2016, Blackbird Interactive, founded by two of the original Homeworld development team from Relic Entertainment, released Homeworld Deserts of KnArc, a land-based prequel to the Homeworld series, and that, more or less, brings us up to date. I missed these last two events because the month before the Homeworld Remastered collection released, I moved back to the UK after 3 years living in Stockholm, and gaming took a back seat for a few years while I started a business and found a new home and had children. When I returned to gaming in 2018, with the birth of KnArc Arcade, monetary concerns confined me to consoles, and with roughly the speed of a lethargic glacier, I have been working my way back to fairly basic PC gaming, and the thing I love it for the most, space! Hold on tight, we're almost up to date. Last month, whilst downloading the Destroy All Humans demo from GOG.com, I noticed the Homeworld Remastered collection on offer, almost knocked over my tea in a rush to find the button labelled Buy it now, right now, faster! And I'm currently playing it through on my Twitch live streams. Now, under ordinary circumstances, even I would not drag you all kicking and screaming like this over the moss-covered cobblestones of Memory Lane simply because I bought an old game I used to suck at. But last year, Blackbird Interactive announced that Homeworld 3 is now in development and currently scheduled for release in 2022. It exceeded its crowdfunding goal within a month of the announcement, but you can still back the campaign on Fig if you want access to some cool extra bits and bobs when the game eventually arrives. I'll leave a link in the video description. So not only will I be following the development of that game, but I will also be playing and hopefully reviewing a Blackbird Interactive game currently in early access, which, although no longer a Homeworld title, in fact not even in the same genre, has its roots in the ideas and artistic style that made Homeworld such a huge hit with people like myself. I'm not going to talk too much about that game here, but keep a lookout for it on the channel as I will be uploading Let's Plays over the coming weeks, starting, hopefully, with a first impressions video which will explain what I have hinted at in more detail. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at knights_arcade if you want to talk to me about these or any number of other games coming up over the next few months, or you can join me in my live streams every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday over on Twitch. I'll leave the links in the video description along with links to Facebook, Patreon and the KnArc Arcade Discord channel if you want to check those out. If you aren't interested in any of those things but you liked this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future, and ring the bell to be notified every time I post new content. But until next time, from KnArc Arcade, this is Sleepless Knight, saying nighty night.